Welcome back, you guys. How you all doing this morning? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Line TV, and today we have some news reports that we must discuss and dive into, you guys. I'm going to focus on 3 to 4 stories today. We are going to include the future of Bakayoko and the future of Livramento, who is close to be signing for Southampton right now. And of course, we have some shocking major news surrounding 2 bids made and 2 bids turned down for Romelu Lukaku. Does it look like we are targeting Lukaku over Erling Haaland? Let's see what the reports say today, you guys. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Show your love and support in the comments. Get involved, you guys. That's what it's there for. Share your thoughts and opinions. And before we get into anything, I want to get one quick plug out of the way first. And of course, you guys, if you still have not bought any of the new home kits, away kits, or training gear for next season, now is the perfect time. Literally, the new season starts in 2 weeks' time. Our first game is against Crystal Palace, and if you want to make sure you're looking good for the first game, you guys, I'm here to help you guys out. In the description below, you'll find all the relevant affiliate links where, if you click on them, you get access to my discount code NINI10 to get a further 10% off your final order. So what you guys are waiting for? I'm here to hook you up. And without wasting any more time, we start things off quickly and we discuss the future of Bakayoko. Now, at this point in time, Juventus are showing strong interest in signing Locatelli from Sassuolo, but if that move does fail, the alternative they are looking towards is none other than Bakayoko. And from a tactical point of view, I would understand why. I think Baka playing in that role midfield, having support alongside him, that's how he actually performs better. And of course, he brings those box-to-box threats in this game as well. So, let's see what happens. I feel like he's been on our books for way too long now. And as I always said, even before we signed him, I was never feeling him to begin with because, I had watched him play for Monaco and I just knew that, okay, he fulfills a tactical role for the team, but he isn't important. Many other players could have done the same role and could have done it to a better degree, in my personal opinion. So let's hope that we can finally get him off the books right now. I mean, of course, he's brought in a lot of money with his wages being covered, all the loan fees on top of that as well. But, we've been asking for too much money consistently, which has been the story for not only Bakayoko, but many other players as well, you guys. So we now move on to the second story, and it's time to discuss Romelu Lukaku and the big reports that broke earlier today. Now today, this story was brought exclusively by The Athletic, covered by Simon Johnson and many others, and they literally just spill the beans immediately, you guys. We find out instantly that we have made 2 bids to try to sign Lukaku from Inter Milan. Now this is surprising news, this is very shocking news because we know that Lukaku has committed his future to Inter Milan. Now I'm going to say something that I've been saying religiously throughout this entire transfer period, and that's the fact that Lukaku still feels like he has unfinished business here. And as I've said all the time, he needs to feel like there's that love for him, that there's a real effort to try and sign him. He doesn't want to put himself in that same position as earlier before, and there's many ways he can show that. Of course, a concrete bid lets you know how strong your interest is. The wages we offer also lets us know how strong we are, and of course the vision and the plan for how we hope to use them too are also other important things. Now I understand some people may feel, Nini, Lukaku's 28 years old, is this a case of spending too much money for a player that we won't get as many years from? I don't really see it like that anymore. I think we have to understand that with modern football, sports science has evolved, it has improved right now, and players can play deep into their 30s as we're seeing on a much more consistent basis right now. Lukaku can easily give us 5-6 great seasons, and to be honest, how many players actually even stay for that amount of time? Most times a player is successful if he has at least 3 good seasons for us and then moves on. So from that point of view, I don't think that really is too much of an issue. But the reality is right now, it does seem like Lukaku could be a much more affordable alternative to Erling Haaland at this point in time. Of course, we're still in this chicken and egg situation where we don't want to make a bids yet for some reason, so we don't lose face, but at the same time, the asking price that Dortmund wants, and Dortmund won't do anything until they have a bid sent their way. And considering that if a bid does come and they do sell Haaland, they need plenty of time to find an alternative for him in the market. So every day you waste time not putting that bid in, you make it harder and harder for any deal to happen. And essentially is this Lukaku interest and news confirming the fact that Haaland won't be coming. This deal is too impossible, and we're going for a much more affordable alternative. Potentially, you guys, because the issue is Inter Milan they still are in a financial pickle. You know, their investment group that took over the club, COVID really affected their business plan, business model, affected them financially, and they've been forced to have to sell players to balance the books. Now, the reports have been suggesting that Inter could possibly sell either Lautaro Martinez or Romelu Lukaku. In the case of Martinez, we know he has interest from Arsenal. However, the valuation that Inter could get for him would be around 50 million. Martinez is currently on like 2 million euros per week. And, you know, he's not going to bring that much money in for them. I wouldn't necessarily cover all their debts and their issues. In steps Lukaku, and he's valued at double the price of Martinez. He's on 3 times the salary of Martinez too. And if Inter sold him, immediately and instantly, they balance the books. Reports are saying that they have been in the market themselves, and a potential option for them would be Duvan Zapata from Atalanta, who had a great season for them, getting 19 goals and 14 assists. So, you know, he's definitely stepped up and could be that replacement for either one. But now, you guys, now is the time for decisive action to happen. The season starts very soon, and we have many difficult games for, you know, the start of our new season. Ideally, I was hoping we got business done way before, so players had a pre-season at least. Players get acclimatized to their new teammates as well. And of course, you know, we then become ready with a full strength team, ready to take on the massive challenges we have at the start of the new season. You know, it's not to be the case. Typical fashion, it's always about timing. And we will literally wait to the final day if we feel we will get the deal and business that we want. So, you know, let's see what happens here. We're still looking to move on players as well to, you know, of course, you know, bring in more funds and to free up more spaces in the team as well. So let's see what happens with Lukaku. Let's see what the third bid's going to be. Could that be the final one to seal things? And of course, can we persuade Lukaku to sign for us? Because he is comfortable at Inter Milan. He has unfinished business here, but he's not as desperate to sign for us like he was back in the day. So there's still plenty of work that needs to be taking place, and you know, this month is going to be absolutely crazy and so stressful when it comes to the signing a striker. So you guys in the comments below, let me know how you feel. Do we just focus on Lukaku now and give up and forget about Erling Haaland? Let us know below. So right now, you guys, we do move on to the third story today, and this third story was another surprising one for me. It's in regards to Livramento, and at this point in time, he is set to sign for Southampton for £5 million. Now, I'm going to break down the full story for you guys so you're informed behind what's been happening. And the reality is that Southampton have led the march over Brighton, who were rumoured to be the favourites to sign Livramento from us. Now, the reason behind why they failed in their pursuits is due to the negotiations and the clauses inserted in the deal. Now, one thing that Brighton did not want to agree to was having a buyback fee inserted in the deal. Because we're selling him for £5 million, but we have agreed a £25 million option to buy, as well as a sell-on fee percentage clause too. So regardless of whether Livramento comes back with us or does move on, you know, the club obviously know that this is a young player of extremely high potential. You know, in that sense, this is great business for us. You know, I look at how clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid have used their youth. And, you know, they've been in situations like us. Over the years, they produce talent after talent after talent. There's not always that space for them in the team. However, they're still going to have excellent careers. And those clubs are in situations where if the player is good enough, they can come back to the club in a deal that financially benefits them. So no surprise that we have the same energy, because, you know, for me, Livramento is so good that he has to be getting minutes right now. Southampton have offered him and provided him a better pathway into the first team compared to Brighton, and reports are saying that Southampton's manager Hasan Hutel is ecstatic, gassed, excited that Southampton have pulled this deal off, because he feels like he can do a ton with Livramento. Now, in The Athletic, they did provide some more context behind this deal. They revealed that Southampton have been in talks with Livramento since March. Does this imply that Livramento from all the way back then was already set on leaving us? It doesn't explain that at all. Naturally, I've been telling you guys for months and months, expect youth players to be leaving in this window. Of course, these guys will constantly have clubs from across Europe speaking to their agents to ask about their availability, so it's only natural that Southampton were one of the clubs to come in early to hold talks with him. I can tell you guys this though, from what I've heard, You know, stories like the Akimi one, for example, you know, that was kind of like a final straw type of thing where it's like, okay, you know, he passed every challenge so far, one of the most dominant youth players in his age group as well, and of course won our Young Player of the Season awards, you know, following in the footsteps of many other previous youth players that have won that award and gone on to have great careers and are doing something in the game right now. So it's justifiable in my opinion, but the reality is that we didn't want to use him. He has to move on to play, and both parties have found the perfect deal that not only benefits us but also benefits Livramento as well. And you know, that's all I ask for, you guys. You know, I remember back in the day where, you know, we'd force some incredibly exciting potential and talent to go on these terrible loan moves, have no real plan in regards to what to do with them, and a lot of times we'd ruin loan moves for them because we wouldn't accept money from better clubs that one of these guys, allowing them to go to worse clubs because the finances were there. So we've definitely come a long way. And right now, Livramento joins up with one of his boys in Danny Simu, of course, who just recently signed for Southampton just last week. I'm not going to spend too much time giving my thoughts and opinions. I think I will do that in a separate video that will come up maybe later today, where I'll be joined by some very special guests, you guys. But I think what I will say to this deal is the fact that, you know, there's been a lot of poor arguments I've been reading in regards to the fact that, you know, these youth guys don't want to fight for their place, they're weak, they just want an easy route into the team, they have to move on, which is something I just don't agree with. The reality is they wanted to move on because they didn't feel confident that there was a fair pathway for their talents to be assessed and opportunities to be given on a fair basis. The reality with using young players in football is that it takes a manager using them. You know, they've passed all the tests, there's nothing more they can show. It literally depends on whether they get opportunities or not. The reality is that many of the parents and many of the young players in the academy, you know, their confidence is eroding behind the scenes. Their confidence is eroding because they feel like the pathways just aren't as open as they used to be. And I think that's definitely a fair discussion that could be had. I'll definitely have that discussion. And what I will say is good luck to Livramento. I think for sure this is a guy to pay attention to for next season, you guys. Many of you are going to really enjoy how he plays for Southampton too. And for me, this is a deal that benefits every single party. So right now, you guys, that was everything. That was the news out of the way. Hope you guys enjoyed, and of course in the comments get involved and share your thoughts and opinions. Do you feel like this was the right move to let Livramento leave? Are you disappointed? Do you care? Or, you know, are you happy with this deal? Let us know below. And on that note, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.